Liverpool, the city that stole my heart. This isn't just a place. It's a feeling. A fire. Memories etched in time. But this chapter isn't over. There's more to give. More to fight for. More to achieve. Together. It was always Liverpool.
Chills, bruh. Chills, man. Bird signs that new deal, baby. And right after Mo Salah, it's massive news for the club. It's huge news for the club. And news that I didn't think I was going to be seeing this season. I'll be honest. I was wrong, boys. I was wrong at the beginning of this season. And which is why I probably don't work for the club. But, you know, I'm out here just giving the, opinions on the team. But this shows Liverpool is still a destination. This shows Liverpool is not a stepping stone club. Even if Trent doesn't re-sign, this is a huge signal of intent from Liverpool. And I actually think this shows ambition more so than anything I think we could have done. Yes, signing a world-class player is the ultimate form of ambition, but keeping world-class players and keeping best-in-the-world players is also a sign of ambition. And I'm actually really happy. I'm really happy, and I'm starting to come to some realizations of what may be unfolding here. And it's still along the lines of what I thought before, but it's a little bit bigger. Right? It's a little bit bigger. If you look at the whole picture, you look at Madrid being knocked out, you look at Barcelona, who are still kind of in a rebuilding phase, and their finances are kind of everywhere, and they have a hard time. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's plenty of players that want to come play for Barcelona, but can Barcelona actually pay for these players? That's a whole different story. Manchester United are in a rough spot. City are recovering. Arsenal is still going to be Arsenal, right? They're in that phase where they have to prove themselves in modern times before they can start pulling in big players. Liverpool looks stable. Liverpool, of all these big clubs that are around here, they look stable. They look exciting. They look ready to grow. They look like they have a direction and they have an intention. And I think Mo sees that, and I think VVD sees that. I think Trent understands that too. And who knows what happens with Trent, because we don't know how true those stories are coming out about Madrid. I'm seeing stuff about Jurgen Klopp going to Madrid, and we know that is 100% false. So who knows if those stories last time from a couple weeks ago are even 100% facts, and then maybe Trent stays. Who knows what happens at this part? But you have to look at it, and I've been seeing a lot of tweets and stuff like that, and posts and all of this extra shit, comments, all of that about Trent. You really want to go there? Where else is there to go is the question, right? You really want to go there? You really want to go to Chelsea? You really want to go to Man City? You really want to go to Madrid? Liverpool is actually the most attractive destination for a player right now. And I think it becomes even more attractive now that you have Virgil van Dijk, who is the consensus best center back in the world, and Mo Salah, who could potentially be on his way to winning a Ballon d'Or. I said this in the last video. Good players want to play with good players. And I didn't take that into account when we were talking about the contract situations earlier in the year, is that signing them is the ultimate signing, because then you can now use that as bargaining chips when you're talking to bigger players, when you're talking to Isak, when you're talking to Kevin De Bruyne, when you're talking to some of these big players that are potentially on the move right now. That we got VVD, we got Mo Salah, Ballon d'Or nominee, Ballon d'Or potential winner. Come play with them, right? And it creates more pull for the club. So, and you look at some of these comments that VVD and Mo have made, it was always Liverpool. I never was considering any other club, what Mo's saying. These statements, they mean something. As a player, as the club. And I think as us as supporters, we need to start paying attention to some of these things, because that shows a culture of real, one, heritage, two, loyalty, right? Where big players want to come and they want to finish their career with our club. It's huge. So, and I saw another tweet that if Mo and Virgil now have deals, and then we go and sign a big name like an Isak, are you still FSG out? And I think you need to ask yourself, you got to ask yourself, do I want to be right, or do I want the club to be successful? You have to ask yourself that as a fan. And I had to have that talk with myself before I even started the channel, which is why my stance on the whole FSG and FSG out thing is more neutral than anything. Is because if it's to benefit the club in the long run, I'm for it. I don't care who's in charge. I don't care who's running it. I don't care whose nationality it is. I don't care how you are moving, how you're perceived in the media or whatever it might be. If the outcome is our club growing and becoming more healthy, I'm for it. And that's all that's happened under FSG, if we want to be very honest. Should we have won more things under Jurgen Klopp? Sure. You want him to be backed? He was backed. He had a big summer and did a midfield rebuild before he left. Before that, he spent money on Darwin Núñez, Carvalho, and Ramsey. That was the money that he was given that summer. And you talk about, well, players were sold, our net spend, this, and that. As a smartly ran club should operate. You're comparing our club to Chelsea's and Manchester United's, Madrid's, PSG's, clubs that are in a very different situation and scenario than us, and are in trouble for a lot of that stuff that they've done. I'm okay with FSG and what potentially could come. Now is the opportunity. Now is the time that I think we see that our boy John Henry, he got his checkbook open, I think. I could be wrong, though. I could be wrong. But I think he has his checkbook open. And you look back at the Klopp era, we should have maybe won 4 or 5 more league titles. But that wasn't down to, I think, the ownership and how it was ran. I think that's just down to football. The ball just didn't bounce in our way. And I think if potentially we were in a situation where we did win those titles, would as many people be having these kind of murmurs about getting new owners and stuff like that? Because who says the next guys are going to be any better than... Okay, I'm off my high horse, okay? I'm off of my soapbox, okay? But the momentum is swinging in our favor now. The power of retaining world-class talent has to say something. It has to say something, right? So you can be excited. You can be lit. And while you're down there, or while you're here, go down in the comments and tell us, what are you looking forward to the most this summer? What are you looking forward to this year as a Liverpool supporter? And what's getting you the most exciting? Because for me, I think it's very different than what we've seen in the Jurgen Klopp era. The coach and the players are actually publicly coming out and they're saying, this is going to be a big summer. This is going to be a big summer. These are things we did not see in the Jurgen Klopp era. That gets me pumped for this summer. But let me know what you guys think down below. And before you come at me on the whole, you're like an FSG shill, I've gotten that comment before, by the way. I want you to just be a mature individual. Look at the overall success of the club, where we were when we first were purchased by FSG, where we are now, and the fact that we aren't having situations like a Fernando Torres, like a Luis Suarez, big players deciding to leave the club. Xavi Alonso, all of these big, Javi Mascherano, right? All of these big players that have played for us that decided to go elsewhere because they felt that we weren't ambitious enough. Times have changed under FSG. Times have changed in Liverpool. We're the biggest club in the world right now. We're the biggest club in the world right now. Be thankful. This club is well run. And the fact that we have secured VVD, Captain Fantastic, one of the greatest center backs in the history of the Premier League, to stay at our club and be a spokesperson for our club, put out videos like we saw at the beginning of this video, where it gets you, you want to run through a wall and that type of stuff, and it's attractive for other players. It's huge, guys. It's massive. We're not Chelsea. We're not United. We're not City. We're not dealing with the chaos. Mo and Virg stay. I'm praying that Trent does stay, because then that would be an even bigger move. And I think we're gearing up to go to the next level. as a football club. But let me know what you guys think about the moves recently. I wanted to check in, say how pumped I am for this signing. Very, very optimistic about the future. And if we could pull one over on City and get KDB, I'd be even happier. But anyway, that's another talk for another day. We got some league play again this weekend. Stay tuned. Subscribe to the channel if you love the content and you rock with me heavy. But I appreciate all of you guys, and we will see you this weekend. Up the Reds. You have everything to be excited about and to be pumped for going into this week. Make sure you listen to the captain. Wear red in the stadium. Wear red in Anfield. Wear red while you're at home. I'm wearing red all week, okay? So appreciate you guys. See you soon. Peace.